Hello, I'm James Mills and you're watching CATEX TV broadcasting live from Princeton, New Jersey. The time is currently 11:30 a.m. in New York, 4:30 p.m. in London and 12:30 p.m. in Hamilton, Bermuda. Firstly, on this day in 2004, Hurricane Janine slams into Haiti, killing thousands. Coming just days after Hurricane Ivan, Janine was part of a series of deadly storms to hit the region during the 2004 hurricane season. And now to the main news. New York state authorities said on Monday they will begin classifying some credit derivatives as insurance in a move that will bring the instruments under the state's regulatory authority. State officials called on the federal government to regulate the rest of the $62 trillion market for credit derivatives. New York Governor David Paterson said in a release the move is designed to ensure that insurers have adequate capital resources to pay their policyholders, including on insurance they sell with credit default swaps. The move comes after the federal government spent $85 billion to bail out American International Group. As concerns grew, the company did not have enough capital to cover insurance it sold on mortgage debt with credit derivatives. Regulators said they will introduce new standards to the market, including strict limits on the ability of insurers to sell protection in collateralized debt obligations on mortgages. The fourth typhoon of the season in the South China Seas has killed 3 people in the Philippines. Reports speak of 13 miners trapped in a flooded gold mine shaft in the north of the country. Typhoon Hagupit is now gathering strength and is heading towards Hong Kong, where kindergartens and possible container ports are being closed. Landslides were the main cause of the typhoon's fatalities in the Philippines and prompted hundreds of people to flee their homes. Countries across Asia are testing Chinese dairy products as fears spread over melanin-tainted milk, and some have banned these products outright. 4 Chinese children died after drinking contaminated milk, and some 13,000 remain in hospital. 4 children in Hong Kong have now been diagnosed with kidney stones after drinking milk from the mainland. The company at the center of the scare, Sanlu, failed to report the health problems for months, state media say. Sanlu began receiving complaints about sick children as early as last December, but did not report the issue to authorities until early September, according to a CCTV report citing an official investigation. The report appears to be the first official admission that news of the health scare was deliberately suppressed. At least 9 people have been killed and 2 others wounded in a shooting spree at a college in a town in western Finland. Police say the gunman, thought to have been a student in his early 20s, then shot himself. His condition is currently unclear. The gunman apparently posted a video of himself on the internet last week firing a gun. As a result of this, police interviewed him on Monday, but did not revoke his license, the Interior Minister said. Prime Minister Matti Vanhanen said that it was a tragic day for Finland. A roadside bomb has killed an Afghan district chief and a police official in the southern Kandahar province. The attack took place when the district chief of Rajasthan, Amir Mohammed, was driving home with police official Asadullah, police say. 4 of their guards have been wounded. Taliban insurgents have claimed responsibility for the attack. Kandahar is a key battleground for the Taliban insurgency, where Afghan and foreign troops are currently fighting the rebels. And now we'll go to a commercial break.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation.
Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
From prehistoric time to today, man's progress has been marked by his ability to fashion tools and use them to his advantage. From early humans making tools from stone, man evolved and was soon trading with other men. Money evolved, and tools such as the abacus to handle complex money transactions were developed. By the end of the 19th century, machines, such as the cash register, began to appear. 100 years later, we have even better computer-driven machines which track stock, change prices, and automatically reorder. Meanwhile, the reinsurance industry has failed to embrace man's drive for progress. The reinsurance industry today would be as familiar to practitioners from the 1800s as it is to modern underwriters. An underwriter or broker from 1800 would settle nicely into today's business. That is, until now. For the reinsurance industry, pivot point changes everything. Soon it will be understood that the period before pivot point was as dark as the caveman period was before the abacus. Come and see for yourself if you don't believe. After a demonstration, you will understand what is possible.
Share prices in Europe and Asia have fallen, with investors nervous about wrangling in the US over the massive $700 billion financial bailout plan. Doubts over how soon the rescue plan can be applied have emerged from both the Democrats and the Republicans. London's FTSE 100 fell 2.5%, and the CAC or CAC 40 in Paris slid 1.9%. Frankfurt's DAX was down 1%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index ended nearly 4% lower. On Monday, US shares fell sharply, with the Dow Jones index closing down 3.3%. Banks were among the main fallers, with Deutsche Bank shares falling 3.5%, Royal Bank of Scotland 3.1% lower, and Swiss firm UBS down 2%. Markets are waiting to hear comments from the Federal Reserve head Ben Bernanke and the US Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson when they speak before the Senate Banking Committee later. And that was actually later on Monday. The bailout package was welcome when it was made official last week, but there are concerns about how the $700 billion plan will come into effect and be implemented, and whether it will mark a precedent. The White House says Congress must back the rescue plan to stop wider economic harm. The price of oil has jumped more than $16 to $120.92 a barrel, the biggest one-day gain on record. There is uncertainty about how the government's financial bailout plan will work, and that's the story we just mentioned, causing investors to switch a perceived safe havens such as oil. Others believe that the US government's bailout plan will help the economy, increasing the demand for oil. Concerns also persist about supply, as production in the Gulf of Mexico is affected by Hurricane Ike. However, analysts said the US rescue package was key. It has changed sentiment in the oil market, said analyst Paul Harris from Bank of Ireland. At one point during trading, the price of oil rose more than $25. The volatility in the price has been exacerbated by the fact that the contract for the supply of oil in October expires on Monday. The contract for oil to be delivered in November was not up as sharp. It rose $6.62 to $109.37 in New York. The US Central Bank has relaxed the rules governing investors who take minority stakes in banks, and move that could encourage greater investment. The US Federal Reserve said investors can now take a 33% stake in a firm without incurring regulatory hurdles, up from the previous limit of 25%. Minority investors are also allowed a voting stake of up to 15% from 9.9%. The rules apply to any investor, such as a private equity firm, that wants to take a minority stake in a bank. In the past, certain groups